Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday.
Yes, sir.
We finally made it to all my corporate America people, everybody who works in general. We have finally made it. It is the end of the week. It is the day that we all work towards and we celebrate this lovely weekend that we are about to go into. It is your fearless host, as usual, of Cracking a Cold One, Joxy and Degs, and we are back at it with another great episode for Week 8 to go over some games, fantasy gems, betting segment, betting locks as well,
Yay.
and just a
Some
lot
good
more
news
to
there.
cover today. We also are going to debut two new segments today. So we have our Eagles corner and Titans corner. So we will touch on that as soon as we dive in. But without further ado, let's do it as we normally do. Let's crack these cold ones. Cheers, buddy.
You know the drill.
Good old Surfside, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to get back at it, guys. Thank you if you've followed along this season. We've definitely been staying consistent with recording our episodes and making sure that we're getting some good content out there for you. So, like I mentioned, thank you guys, thank you guys, thank you guys. We cannot thank you guys enough.
We appreciate you.
And definitely once again, for Surfside and Stateside, if anytime you want to slide into our DMs or answer our DMs, then we'd love to work side and side with you guys. It'd be beautiful.
Collaboration, please.
Beautiful little collab for us. But let's dive into what we have here. Let's actually start off with our topics that we have for our headlines. So you have here on who should start for the rest of the season. You want to go ahead and dive into that for us?
Yeah, so we're going to go at quarterback. Who
Yeah.
should start rest of the season? And what really triggered this for me was last night, right? If you watched the game, it was the Vikings versus the Chargers. Chargers beat them handedly.
Yeah.
And for a little bit, we were saying, should Wentz start the whole season? But now I'm curious about your thoughts, everyone's thoughts, if they should turn it back to McCarthy after last night's showing.
Yeah, with the Vikings, I think it has to go back to McCarthy. I mean, we talk about now looking at what they did in the offseason. They decided not to re-sign Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones when they had them both in their building. Both of those quarterbacks right now are playing outside of out of their minds right now in this season. They're both top 10 quarterbacks in the league statistically. So I think for Kevin O'Connell to, I don't want to say save his job because I don't think he's on a hot seat at all.
No.
But
Save
in
the
order
season,
to,
potentially.
I would say save his reasoning
Yeah.
for not going with Darnold or Daniel Jones and sticking with McCarthy, he has to throw McCarthy in, and it has to work. If it doesn't, it's going to fall on him.
Mhm.
It's going to fall on him. It's going to fall on the GM, of course, because the GM has a say in that. The GM could easily overstep and say, no, I think that this is what helps us,
We'll just
win
move
games.
JJ,
So
get some
we're
picks.
not even say move JJ, but they could have easily just said we're gonna re-sign
Stay with
Sam. Yeah.
Sam Darnold.
So this is where I think McCarthy has the most pressure on himself the rest of the season, and I feel sorry for him, but at the same time I don't. You
You're a high pick.
you were a high pick, you knew what you were coming into, and you could have started the season off a little bit better. I don't want to hear any type of excuses. That team, one of the best defenses in the league. You have one of the best wide receiver core in the league with Addison and JJ.
Yeah.
You can even throw Hawkinson in there as another one.
Yeah, no slouch.
So the team itself on paper has the weapons that they need in order to win. It's JJ that needs to figure it out, or Kevin O'Connell needs to call a better game, or JJ's not the answer. They draft another quarterback going into this offseason, or go after a veteran to continue to try to save, the prime years of Addison and Jets.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think the whole way. They got to go back to McCarthy with Wentz. I think it's been losses 3 out of the last 4 games. So if you want to try to salvage the season, I think you go to the JJ. And not only that, to your point, you got to see what you got there
Yeah.
because otherwise, I could see them trying to go back the other way and bringing in a vet that's ready now with that team next year or something like that. So you got to figure it out. So I'm with you there. Rest of the season, I think that they got to turn it over to McCarthy.
McCarthy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then the next one we got here on the list is Fields, Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor. This is an interesting one too.
Yeah, with New York Jets, I just feel like these options it really doesn't help their season regardless. In my opinion, Tyrod needs to hang it up. There's no reason why he should still be in the league. I was a Tyrod apologist for a while, thinking that he can still be serviceable, still come in and be able to play a respectable game. But there's been a few times where I've seen him play, and I'm just like he does not have it anymore. I personally will stick with Justin Fields. Figure it out. I think there's more to that team than putting the blame on Justin Fields. Or listen, I'm not saying that Justin Fields is the answer.
He's at fault too.
He is at fault. There's some issues that he has that he needs to clean up, and he needs to figure. It's figure it out, man. Like if you're going to be a quarterback, you got to figure that crap out. Otherwise, change to another position. If you think that you can possibly be a better wide receiver, then go for it. Because
Terrell Pryor.
I mean, like, and it sounds like a joke, but Justin Fields in college was a really great quarterback at Ohio State. And I remember seeing this all the time, and I would hate myself like watching him just destroy Penn State. It's shocking that in the NFL he has not been able to, replicate that. I don't know if it's system. Aaron Glenn doesn't help that either, of course, because he has not been a great addition to the Jets. I just think that, I would pick personally Fields over Tyrod.
I agree. I would you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And the one thing I'll say is you hit it at the end there. Glenn was probably the worst possible marriage that you could have with Justin Fields. Like, obviously they couldn't get him, but you needed someone innovative like Ben Johnson that's going to be able to work with his strengths and, make the offense at least competent. Like, I'm a little bit frustrated, one, because I have Fields on fantasy, but we saw last year when he was with Tomlin and he started those first couple games, he can play. I'm still a believer in him. I think it's situation here. He's got Garrett Wilson. Mason Taylor's turned out to be a good target. So I think they got to keep it with him. They just got to get the offense rolling here. Try some RPOs with him more. I mean, they haven't let him use his legs as much, and they got to. I mean, when you're getting sacked like that. And then
who's their offensive coordinator?
Who is the offensive coordinator?
Tanner Engstrom.
I don't know much about him. Where'd he come from?
Previously worked for the Lions.
Okay.
And he has experience calling plays at the college level and XFL. Oh, we got ourselves a winner here.
So Glenn took him with him from Lions.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean he could be one and done.
Yeah.
He's been.
I believe that. I could.
Disappointment.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, but honestly, the Jets themselves are just a disappointment to the NFL.
They're the only team competing with the Titans as the worst team in the league.
Yeah. All right, so we got your next one here. You have Bryce Young or Andy Dalton. What you got for us there?
I think I'm going to roll with Dalton. I just think the offense rolls better with him. He's kind of got a Joe Flacco feel to him where it's like fearless. I'm just going to sling it. I got nothing to lose, and I think that team needs it. I don't think their receiving core is half bad. No, they don't have necessarily a one yet. I think Tet will be, but that remains to be seen so far. I think Dalton's going to help him flourish, right? He's going to be able to at least help them in the fantasy standpoint. From a winning standpoint, I mean, in general, I don't know if they're going to be able to get much wins regardless of who's starting. They have won, the last 2 games, I believe. So, they're on a nice streak here. But as far as Bryce Young, I think we've seen enough. And, he probably needs a new place if he's going to do anything at all. I don't think Carolina's his home anymore.
So I saw this on your list, and honestly, I heard it earlier. I think I am over the slander. Not, I don't want to say slander. I'm just like, I'm done with Carolina, with them flip-flopping back and forth constantly between these two quarterbacks. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm done. At this rate, trade him.
Yeah.
Cut him loose. Let the kid go play somewhere else.
Right.
I think he can still be a serviceable quarterback with the right system. You put him in New Orleans with Kellen Moore, there might be something there that you can get.
Not a bad place.
There's more to that. Like Dave Canales, where did he come from?
He came from Tampa.
Tampa.
It was before Kellen. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was there when they had Tom Brady.
True.
How much of it is just it's the system that's making you look good versus Liam Cohen actually was able to go ahead and do what he did with Baker and
make
the
that
rest
offense
of the,
what they are.
So with Carolina right now, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm sick and tired of this team. They piss me the hell off. And I'm sorry if you're a Carolina fan and you're listening to this. But with this one, I'm saying stick with Bryce Young solely because of the fact that I'm sick and tired of them going back and forth.
That's fair.
I get
too.
it.
Just let him ride the season out.
Andy
he's
Dalton
hurt right
isn't.
now. That's part of it.
Yeah, Andy Dalton's not going to go ahead and do anything for that team to make them better. You might as well just ride it out, see what you have. If not, trade him. If you're not going to play him the rest of the season, trade him. You figure out what you can get from him. I don't think it's going to improve regardless if you trade him now or at the end of the season.
I'm with you. I mean, I in general, they both need a fresh start, both teams. I mean,
I thought you were about to say both players. I was going to say Andy Dalton needs to hang it up. I'm sick and tired of hearing his name in the league at this rate.
No, both sides. No,
yeah.
No, Andy Dalton, I'm with you. But no, it's just the Panthers need a fresh start. I mean, I don't know if they're going to keep Canales or not. I don't know if he's done a good enough job. But to your point, I think Bryce Young has something to prove still. It's what we've talked about before, right? It's your environment. It's who you're with, what team, the organization, the GM. And the Panthers, they've been a joke the last couple, many years with the whole, we talk about the Vikings giving up some players. I mean, how about them? You know what I mean? And and some of the quarterbacks that came through there. So we have an MVP on our hands potentially. So Carolina, I think that they just have been failing Bryce Young.
Yeah, it's I'm just sick and tired of hearing that whole thing. So that's where I stand on that. And then what do we have for the last one out here?
The last one we got Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. So we've seen a couple games out of Gabriel. What are your thoughts of what they should do here?
This one I don't have really many things to say. I've already said it in the beginning of the season. There should have never been anybody else other than Shedeur Sanders starting for the Cleveland Browns. I don't think Dylan Gabriel was going to be exponentially better than Shedeur, but I think you're going to at least be able to get more out of Shedeur for the team. You have, from what I've been hearing or reading, I should say, a lot of the players internally too have been wanting Shedeur to they're in support of him.
Mm-hmm.
So, bring the young kid in, see what you can do, especially for Stefanski if he wants to go ahead and keep his job.
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is get some excitement back into that building. And if you get some excitement into that building, you improve just in the way that you're playing. Like if you're starting to play some competitive football and at the same time, like if the team once again looks exciting, there might be, a chance for him to come back because they're going to be like, okay, you can actually call the plays for this player. You can actually figure it out with this player. Let's go into the draft and let's, obviously build around this player. But I've already said it. Shedeur Sanders.
I agree with you. And part of it is we've seen Gabriel a few games. And the first game I was like, okay, like he kind of looked all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's tailed off. He went viral for a number of throws that were just, I mean, horrific. And I think part of the thing, normally you're not someone that wants to yank quarterbacks out and go back and forth, how we were saying with Carolina.
Yeah,
But I think to what we've been saying with all these young guys, you should see what you have in Sanders, because we've seen Gabriel and it hasn't been like, okay, how about the rookies have come in like Jackson Dart and been an immediate
for
factor,
sure.
right?
For sure.
That kind of, they give you that feel early. You know what I mean? We'll
I
talk
feel like it's a
about
little
it.
too late for the Browns to try to like do that in order to like try to compete for like their division. But no, like to your point though, it's like
Let's
they do the same thing like New York did and bring in a young kid in and
let's see, let's see at this point. I think you give them a start and see if the offense flows better, because that defense is great. And it's
yeah,
just like, if you can start scoring some more points, and I know like they did a solid job last week versus Miami. Judkins really went off, 3 touchdowns. You probably love that, huh?
I loved it.
But
Perfect.
but yeah, I think Sanders is probably the way to go. At least a trial,
Yeah,
right? At least a trial.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. So with the next topic that we have here, I'm actually going to go back against what I said last week. If anybody heard me last week, we were talking a little bit. We went really deep into like the Colts and just talking about the team in general, about if they're actually Super Bowl contenders, and I was talking about their season. I take everything I said back. The Colts, in my opinion, are Super Bowl contenders. So they are, in my opinion, built like the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles. Or 2024, I should say, Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Taylor is playing out of his mind, can easily put himself into the conversations as being an MVP this season. Number 1 in the league in total points scored and ranking in top 10 in passing and rushing.
Wow.
That's big. Top 3 in interceptions and 7th in rush defense. So getting to the quarterback fast has been the point to, making the quarterback, uncomfortable and having him turn it over.
Yeah.
Which is because their pass defense actually is not that great.
It's not.
Their DBs are like, they actually rank at the
Trash.
bottom half.
Trash.
It's the fact that they're able to get to the quarterback as fast as they can, and then you're
Stuff the
causing, you're causing the quarterback to make dumb decisions, and that's how they have, the interceptions and things like that. So I know I said last week otherwise, but I take it back. I think the Colts are Super Bowl contenders. It's going to come down to, how does Daniel Jones play in the playoffs? The playoffs are a whole different season, and especially in their conference, you got some teams that can go ahead. I mean, you can say the Chiefs right there.
Oh yeah, Chiefs. I mean, we know Buffalo's going to make it.
Yeah.
Those powerhouses. No, I mean, I think that's very accurate. It's how are you going to perform in the playoffs? How is this going to translate?
Mm-hmm.
And from the team standpoint, because to your point, they've been able to get by kind of on the secondary because of the pressure, because of the rush defense.
Ridley and Simmons is out. That's why they're getting a 14 and a half.
Oh yeah, 2 of their best players.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you hit everything the nail on the head. They're a great team. I mean, in their offense, that's the other thing. The offense is scoring points. So even if they give up a few big plays and things like that, they're putting up 20+ points a game. To your point, Jonathan Taylor's having a spectacular season. Daniel Jones is balling out, and they're another one. Nice, really receiving core there. Warren's been a nice addition there. I think they have the makings. It's to your point. It's just, will it translate when the bright lights come?
Jonathan Taylor right now has 10 touchdowns, 697 rushing yards.
Wow. Yes. 10 touchdowns? God, my God.
This is actually something that they were talking about earlier this week on ESPN, is that he could very well go on that pace of being a LaDainian Tomlinson season and having like a 24. I think they said he's on pace for 24 touchdowns this season.
He's getting multiple games.
Yeah. He's
probably a good bet.
He's had 3 games this season where he's had 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns? I'll tell you what. This week, you know what bet I'm taking?
3 touchdowns.
Well, 2.
You get to, okay. I mean, yeah.
I'll take the 2 because the Titans will give it up.
I think that's
probably fair.
Yeah, I think that's a fair one. Well, speaking about your Titans, let's go ahead and dive in. So we have our two segments that we wanted to talk about, today. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into our Titans corner. And Degs, floor is yours.
Yeah.
What you got for us?
Yeah, so I was there live last week in Tennessee, so I got to see the game. And, in the first quarter, it looked like we were going to be able to hang in. And then the avalanche came, and we couldn't get a stop. We fumbled it, and then from there, a fumble six, and we couldn't do anything. And my thoughts are this is obviously we've known that the season's a bust, and that's okay. What we really need to do is see what the theme of this episode, what these young cats can do here.
Yeah.
So I want Alec, Ayomanor, Shamir, DK, all the players like that. I want them to play as much as possible. Obviously, I want Ridley and people like that to get his. On the defensive side, I want the rookies, second-year players here, Tavondre Sweat. I want to see them get theirs. That's where I'm at with it. I just want to see growth within the culture, within the work ethic. Obviously, we're going to have to start coach hunting eventually, but the organization's just not in a good place, unfortunately. It's really tough to be a fan right now. Eddie George, legend, I don't know if you saw, he basically was saying that the owner has set them back 10 years. And 10 years might be a long time. Maybe I'm not going to say that, but I'll say at least 3 to 5. We got some work to do here before we're going to be any type of playoff or Super Bowl contenders. So, the look of the schedule here, no matter who we go against, I mean, we're going to probably be the underdogs, whether we're home or away. And the big thing that I want is this fight. I want you guys to fight no matter what, how big you're down. Play every down like it's your last. I want to see you guys play hard for Cam Ward, block as much as possible, because when he has a clean pocket, he's got a beautiful ball. We saw that in the first quarter at the DK for the touchdown. But when he doesn't, he holds it like Fields. And is that his fault? Who knows? But that's my thoughts on the Titans so far.
That is it's good that you got to go down there before they shut down that stadium, and I'm glad you were able to, witness that.
Yeah, it was, and typically, I'm miserable alone, but misery loves company, and it was a different feeling to be able to experience with other fans that are just as disappointed, and the walk back to the hotel, just chopping it up with the different fans on how we feel and whatnot. And Titans Nation, it was really cool to be there. Nashville's a beautiful place, a beautiful city. So I'll definitely be back for the new stadium. But next time, go with my buddy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'll come down there.
Yeah.
We're going to record an episode down there for sure.
Hell yeah.
All right, so let's go into my guys, the Eagles corner. Philadelphia Eagles right now. It's been a lot of drama this season. 5-2 this season, but it hasn't been the prettiest 5-2. But nonetheless, 5-2, you win, you lose some. Same with any other team, so it doesn't matter. The biggest theme of this season is that they have not been able to, get the run game going. They have not officially figured out what their theme is of their team. And it might just be after, last weekend that if they're going to load up the box, you're just going to have to, toss the ball, and I get that the media wants to go ahead and twist things with the A.J. Brown stuff, and I'm not going to do that because of the fact that, A.J. Brown is A.J. Brown. The man is, able to say what he wants to say. The squeaky wheel gets the most oil. If he wants to go ahead and say what he wants to say to get either more touches or more money, by all means, I don't care. He is a factor when he is in the game. He is a factor when he has the ball in his hands. So what I see is a lot of people when it's like the couple, right? The couple just got, they just got back from their honeymoon and they're happy and everything's going great, and you got some possible drama starting. You got people talking about them because they want what they have.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go ahead and have the happiness that they have. So, I saw your man that he was out at. Meanwhile, homeboy probably wasn't over there. He was probably just doing his own thing, just hanging out. You got people that are doing that with the Eagles. They're like, oh, look, 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 look. A.J. Brown just said this on Twitter. You have the media stalking his Twitter. And I'm about sick and tired of it because it just sounds very childish that y'all are just sitting there on your phones, on your laptops, and you're just like waiting for him to go ahead and like tweet something. And you're like freaking gnats at a freaking summer barbecue that's bugging the fuck out of me. So, I say that to say this. I'm not worried about the A.J. Brown stuff. I think everything's fine. We're going to be fine. The Eagles are going to be fine when it comes to that. What the real eyes need to be on right now is that defense, okay? We're not getting to the quarterback as much as we were last year, okay? We've just talked about it with the Colts. If you're able to get to the quarterback quick, you don't have to really worry about your secondary. It was the same way how we went to the first Super Bowl. Our secondary was actually not that great. We had Malcolm Jenkins, and then the rest of the guys were all just serviceable guys.
Yeah.
So it was all because of our rush defense. We had Chris Long. You had Josh Sweat. You had a bunch of guys that were there. That with this team, I think we need to get another edge. We need to get another edge rusher out there.
You want Brandon back?
Well, Brandon's back, but Brandon was going to come back regardless because of the fact that Zadarius Smith went ahead and retired.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When Zadarius was there, they were already still looking for another edge.
Another edge.
So, I think with BG there now replacing Zadarius, you definitely need another edge because of the fact that BG can't just fill in for everything now.
No.
You know, he's already not playing this weekend, so it's like, we're down already a player for the edge, right? So they need to go after another edge. I don't know really who's out there. I don't think we should be going after like a Trey Hendrickson because of money wise. It doesn't make really much sense. That was the play that I was just talking about.
There's a player on the Titans that was linked to you guys. His name's Draymond Jones, and he's having a hell of a season actually.
Yeah,
but he's a poor man's situation for you guys.
Yeah, with this team, it's just like I said. I think edge help is going to be the biggest thing that we need. So we have a bye after this week. Giants, we have to beat them. We have to beat the Giants. It's going to be a tough game, I think, regardless, because of just what we had to play against with them last time. Although the Giants have a lot of players that are out this weekend, a lot of players that are going to be out. So, I'm curious how the game goes, of course. But I have, the Eagles being okay. They're going to be fine. They'll go against the Giants this weekend. They'll have a bye, clean things up after the bye. Start getting some things back into action. Come back after the bye because after this bye, man, you got the Packers, the Lions, and the Cowboys. That is not that. Those three teams are no slouches. So we're gonna really need to clean some shit up before going into that gauntlet of a season. So that is that on my Eagles, on the Eagles corner.
I'm glad you got that out.
Gosh,
you needed to.
I needed to. There was a lot there that was building up. All right, we're going to go into our wrap-up, our games of the week, I should say. I'm sorry, not wrap-up pick'ems. We're going to go into our games of the week. So, Degs, what you got for us this week?
Yeah, my game of the week is Green Bay at Pittsburgh here. Pittsburgh last week, they showed us that they have a solid offense there, right? They put up a decent amount of points versus the Browns there. Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns. Breakout game for Pat Freiermuth, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. So I really like what I saw there. I think that they can hang with any defense out there. It's just their defense has been their downfall there, right? They gave up, just as many points there to the other side. So, and Joe Flacco came in and won the game there for them. So I'm curious to see if the defense can do enough to win this game for them. I'm not worried about the offense going against Green Bay because I actually think Green Bay's defense at least from the secondary, is a
Yeah.
little bit overrated. Now, going to Green Bay, last week, though, they got to the quarterback a lot, 6 times, which is very nice to see. I think Micah had a
Yeah,
lot to do with.
Micah had himself a hat trick last
Yeah.
weekend.
No, exactly. I think he's starting to settle in, right? So we're probably going to see a lot more of that. Maybe not 3, but his ones and a halves and stuff, and then he's just going to affect the game
For
how he
sure.
does. They've won last 2 games. Offense is kind of firing on all cylinders. Josh Jacobs is another running back that's
Yeah.
playing out of his mind right now. He had 2 scores last game. I like the receiving core, Dobbs, Golden, like they're all doing their job there. So it's going to be an interesting week here. I think that it's going to be a high-scoring affair just because of the secondary situations there. Now, the injuries to watch out for, Dontavian Wicks was limited, Van Ness and McKinney here on the Green Bay side, and then Watt and Hayward. So their line, is a little bit in trouble here. So that's going to obviously affect the outcomes there, but in the rapid fire, we'll kind of go through that. But that's my
Nice.
game of the week. I think it's going to be a good one.
No, I like that. This game has been talked about a lot. I mean, it was funny last night. Me and Alex Nasser got to see TJ before. So TJ, shout out to you, TJ. He's actually moving to Florida on Sunday.
Oh man.
Yeah. So he's going to be moving down there. So maybe we'll have to do our fantasy draft down in Florida at TJ's spot. We might have to do that. But we were out with him, just celebrating him right before he heads out.
Yeah.
And they actually had the Green Bay and Pittsburgh Super Bowl on, which is hilarious. So many years ago.
That was a good one.
Yeah. So, but I do like this game. Very exciting. I mean, you get Aaron Rodgers back in Green Bay.
Yeah.
For the first time in a while.
Well, that's
and
true, though.
Also, if he wins, he checks off that box for being one of the I don't know how many quarterbacks have done it, but he
Versus every team. Yeah.
would have beaten every single team in the NFL. So
yeah, that's a cool narrative. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So if you think that he's playing us down, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, it's a big deal.
That's a big deal to
It's a
him,
big deal
huh? Yeah.
So my game of the week here that I have is quite an exciting one right now. Broncos versus Cowboys. So last week I talked about the Broncos, highly about them, and they just made me look like shit against the Giants. Like I was like so gun ho about the Broncos. I'm like, yeah, they're gonna win the AFC. They're gonna do great. Blah blah blah. Not so quite. Let me pause. Let me pause the brakes there. Broncos, they had a comeback win versus the Giants. They did score 33 points in the fourth quarter, but
that's not going to happen every game.
That's not going to happen every game, and you got to come out. You got to make sure you protect. You come out strong, and not have to play with like your back's against the wall, right? So that's that. Now, Bo Nix has not turned it over in the last 4 games. So clean football has been their theme, which has obviously been the way to winning games, of course, right? They're right now 10th in the league in pass defense, which can be a battle, between the Broncos DBs and the Cowboys wide receivers.
Yeah.
Now Dak, on the flip side, he's continuing to make his case on being the MVP of the league. He has last weekend he had just only 9 incompletions versus Washington with 3 touchdowns. So he's playing efficient right now.
He's playing phenomenal.
Very, very efficient. I hate the fact that I got to talk so highly about Dak because I'm such a big Eagles fan. But listen, game respects game, so it is what it is. Now, this is something that a lot of people were talking about, before the season, even when, CD was out and now he's coming back, is what's the whole – we even talked about it last week. How's Pickens going to react, in this game? The duo between CD and Pickens is not going to be affected. And it showed last week. You had CD with 5 receptions, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Pickens with 4 receptions and 82 yards.
I told you.
So
they're going to help each other.
They're going to be perfectly fine. And I think Pickens is like, thank God you're back.
Dak went into that game licking his chops. He's like, I can't wait to toss this ball.
And Pickens is looking, and mind you, too, Jake Ferguson had 2 touchdowns. Jake Ferguson is the one that had the game. He's
top 5 10 in this year.
He's doing really, really good. But I think them too. They're with CD and Pickens, they're doing great. And I mean, the Cowboys defense, they're still awful. So they're going to need to clean it up against Cortland Sutton in the Broncos offense. So yeah, I mean, this
That's a
is this
great
is
game.
this is going to be a good game. I
Phenomenal.
feel like it's going to be a high scoring game.
I do too. I
So
do too. I think Dallas's offense is enough to put some points on him. It's to your point. Is Denver going to be able to do enough?
yep,
4 quarters.
yep. Our next one that we're going to go ahead and dive into really quick is going to be our upset alert. What do you have for us for our upset alert this week?
Yeah, I got a Carolina over Buffalo. What I like about this is
I've heard this a lot in the media.
Buffalo's secondary is very compromised. And I told you, Andy Dalton is fearless. He is just going to swing it. This is
Yeah.
a great matchup for Ted McMillan and company. I think that the offense is going to get the better of Buffalo because Buffalo's offense has been a little bit stagnant, right? The last couple times we've seen them. So I'm thinking they're going to get a close win over them, maybe a 4-point win over the Buffalo.
I like that. I've been hearing a lot about that, so I'm curious how I'm gonna be definitely tapping into that game this week. Mine that I have here is a division game. I have Saints over Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay, they have, last week I think was definitely the humbling game.
Mm-hmm.
You got Mike Evans that went out.
Which shout out to him. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, Mike Evans. I mean, he's a legend. So the Bucks right now, though, they do have quite a lot of people that are on injury report. They have Teddy Bridgewater. Looks like that he's going to be possibly strapping it up because Baker Mayfield today left practice. Not sure why. There's nothing that's being reported, but he left practice today. So he left practice. He has like some knee issues. It looks like Wednesday he left practice. Thursday he was a full participant, and then today he left practice. So I'm curious
how serious
how serious this is. Now they do get a Mecca back, but once again, that hamstring injury, we'll see how much of that is going to be a factor. The Saints really don't have anybody else. They don't have anybody actually that's on injury report, so they're fine. I think the biggest one right now is that Vita Vea. He did not practice. He is questionable for this weekend's game. You have Hassan Reddick that did not practice. He is out for this weekend's game. Bucky Irving is still out. Luke Haggard is out, and Chris Godwin obviously is still out. So there's a lot of players that are out on the Bucks, and I think at some point some things are going to catch up to them. And playing against a divisional,
that could do it to you.
Yeah. I think that this one is going to be that game where it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a close game, but Saints, I think, win the game at the end of the day.
Okay. I think that's fair.
All right. Well, let's go into our rapid pick'ems with our games with the rest of the games, I should say, this week.
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and give us an update from last week's picks?
Yeah. So last week you got me again by one game, 11-4 for yourself to my 10-5, which brings us to a tie on the season total right now, 44-29.
That's insane.
It is insane, isn't it?
I know.
Holy
shit.
I was like, damn. So we're tied. We're doing pretty darn well, if I have to say so myself. Minus week 5, which was an under 500 performance.
I think that was also the week that everybody was just like F that week. Like it was just.
It was an insane week. It wasn't our fault.
Yeah, it was a fluke week.
But we're doing pretty darn well, and we're neck and neck. So next week is going to be interessante. Yes. Alrighty. So let's dive into the games. Yeah. Miami at Atlanta is the first one.
I got Atlanta.
I got Atlanta too.
Yeah, Miami's just looking bad.
Yikes.
Cincy against the Jets.
I got Cincy.
I have Cincy as well.
Yep. Cleveland at New England.
I have New England.
I have them too.
We have Philly against the Giants.
I got Philly.
I got the Birds. Let's go Birds.
Buffalo at Carolina. I got Carolina.
I have Buffalo in this one.
Alrighty, there's our first difference.
Chicago at Baltimore.
Chicago for me.
I also have Chicago here.
Alrighty. San Fran at Houston.
I have San Fran in this one.
I do as well.
I was flipping back and forth on this one, but I have San Fran.
No Nico.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my big thing there.
Tampa Bay at New Orleans.
I actually am going to take Tampa.
I have New Orleans.
Dallas at Denver.
I got Dallas.
I got Denver.
Tennessee at Indianapolis.
I got Indy.
I got Indy.
Yeah. Green Bay at Pittsburgh.
Green Bay.
I got Green Bay too.
And then Washington at Kansas City. I got Kansas City.
I do as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So with that being said, let's go into the fantasy corner. What do you got for us for some fantasy gems this week for us, Tags?
Yeah, so I went with the stardom situms this week here. So we're going to go through quarterback, tight end. So my stardoms for the quarterback position is Caleb Williams and Jordan Love. So Caleb Williams is playing a horrific secondary with Baltimore. I think he's really going to sling it to Romer Dunes and company. So I like that matchup for him. And then Jordan Love, we talked about it being a shootout, right? The Pittsburgh game. So really love that. My situms is Jackson Dart. I think he did well the first game. Eagles ain't going to allow him to do it twice, is my opinion. I think it's going to be a rough game for him, in my opinion. And then I got Drake May. I just think that they're going to get up kind of early on Cleveland and kind of run the ball out. I just don't think it's going to be a fantastic fantasy day for him. Just going to be modest. Running backs, moving to running backs, we got J.K. Dobbins versus Dallas, right? We've been talking their Swiss cheese. Dobbins is playing really well lately. I think it's going to translate for him and help that offense. And then I got Breece Hall, actually. So they're playing Cincinnati. Jalen Warren ripped it up last week versus them, and I think Breece Hall is a better running back. Now, granted, the offensive line isn't nearly as good, but I think this could be a nice game for Breece.
Yeah.
Then on the flip side, Alvin Kamara, I think I don't like him this week versus that interior versus Tampa Bay. Now, Vita Vea, that definitely affects things as well. If he's out, maybe it bumps him up a little bit. But still, Kamara, don't love it. And then Tony Pollard versus Indy. Indy has done a good job versus the run, as we mentioned. They're seventh, I think, in stopping the run. So I think Tony Pollard is going to have a tough day. And not only that, we talked about last week. I think Tajay is coming in. He looked a lot better last week, and he gives him that passing ability. So Tony Pollard, sit him. Receivers, Ted McMillan, going with my upset pick there, Carolina. Okay. I think he's going to have a lot to do with it. I think he's going to eat. I'm looking at a 100-yard day touchdown for him. And then the translating for DK Metcalf, right? There's got to be a comeback player that's going to come versus Jordan Love and company, and I think that's DK. I think he's going to be a direct beneficiary with that secondary being as weak as they are. Then situms, right? I said Drake May. I've got the correlation with Stephon Diggs. Okay. He's going to have Denzel Ward on him for one. So he's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. And if Drake May is not going to be throwing it that much, then there's not going to be a lot of opportunity for Diggs, in my opinion. And then I also got Jalen Waddle. Miami just has been a dumpster fire. They've been a disaster. He'd be going against Terrell, who's another good cornerback. I just think that they're going to continue to have struggles, and Jalen Waddle's just not going to do as good as we want him to do.
Yeah.
And then tight ends, I got to start him and sit him. So I got Kyle Pitts. He's a little sleeper I like. With the Jets defense, they give up a lot to the tight end. So I think with his athleticism versus linebackers, he could do a great job there. And then my sit him is Zach Ertz. Without Mariota versus those linebackers, those safeties, I just think he's going to be kind of stagnant this game. He's not going to do some of the stuff he would do with Jaden Daniels. That is my stardom sit-ems. Hope that helps, and if you need anything last minute on game day, please DM us, message us. We're here to help.
Yeah. And every single week I feel like with your startup systems, I don't ever listen. I'm like, let me not do that though. Let me start this guy. Because if I have him, I'm like, no, let me start. And then I look like an idiot at the end of the day. I'm like, I probably should listen to Degs.
Well, sometimes it's by default, right? You can't, if you have to start someone just because they're a key player, then you have to. But these are players that if you have another option.
And then also earlier in the season, it was like, you don't know how to almost gauge somebody when it's been too early in the season. You got to
True.
wait till like this is like
Yeah,
where you
more
can
continuity and
actually, yeah,
consistency
you
within.
understand like, all
Sure.
right, who are the real dogs that can actually start for me consistently and give me some points. So
Based on matchups, I feel pretty good about this
I
week.
like it.
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
All right, going into the betting spotlight. So last week,
Yeah.
I can't really say if it was the exact same bet that I put out for the episode, but your boy hit one. We finally hit one last week. So I hit on a 8-leg parlay last week. It was the Chiefs money line versus the Raiders. I had the Bears -5 against the Saints, the Panthers -1 against the Jets, the Colts +1.5 versus the Chargers, the Giants +7 against the Broncos. I had the Cowboys +1.5 versus the Commanders, the Patriots -10 versus the Titans, and then I had the Rams -3 versus the Jags. That was $5 last week for 586. It felt freaking great to finally hit a good one.
Sure.
And I'm hoping that this week we can replicate it again. So with my slip that I have for this week that I'm going to put in, and I will promise that I will put this one in today. Bengals -6 versus the Jets. Bears +7 versus the Ravens. Can't believe I said this also a few weeks ago. Me and Dice were talking about this before the episode. I can't believe the Bears are underdogs against the Ravens that are just god awful right now. But at the same time, I said this a few weeks ago when the Giants were underdogs against the Saints, and the Giants got completely manhandled against the Saints. So I'm hoping this actually goes into my favor of the Bears actually covering the spread, or just winning the game outright. 49ers +1.5 versus the Texans. I have the Saints +4.5 versus the Bucks. The Cowboys +3.5 versus the Broncos. The Colts -14.5 versus the Titans. And I am taking JT for 2 touchdowns, just like our man Deggs just said. That right there, altogether $10 for $864.
Woo!
Like I mentioned, I will be putting this in. So
He's hot.
let's keep the good juju going. This is always a great time to just reflect, and so we've had an amazing time to cover the season with you guys. We're looking forward to continuing this the rest of the season. We are going to be diving into some NBA. So for those NBA heads, we will be releasing an episode at some point on the NBA season. We will obviously get you guys all prepped up for that right now. We still gotta, we're still 10 toes in deep right now with the NFL season, so we got to do some little bit of research on the NBA to start talking about it. But nonetheless, we are happy about this episode. So
Hey, every week we look forward to it. We talk about it, just coming up with the material, wanting to put out, marketing and everything with you guys, engagement. We really do love it. And
yeah,
it's something that we've been passionate about. And like I said before, for me, it's a reason to be able to see my best friend, every week. And
I appreciate that, my guy.
And I love that.
Yeah,
And
man. Hell
talking
yeah.
about what we love,
Hell yeah. It started in an apartment living room and now into a house, and who knows where we're gonna go to. So, like we always say, we appreciate you guys. Check out this week's episode. Like, comment, subscribe on all our posts or on our YouTube page as well. And as always, if you ain't doing anything, go ahead and crack yourself a cold one. Cheers, buddy.